Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, there is no saving this lighting. There isn't. There's none. Cool. Good morning, my friends. It is a sunny, bright day here in Minnesota. It is 58 degrees outside. It was a little bit rainy and gross outside this morning, so I did not go for my walk. But I am here and I am getting things done. And it feels really, really good, actually. Gosh, I wish there was something I could do to make this lighting a little bit better. I really do. And there's not. There's really not. It's fine. Whatever. So for your viewing pleasure, there's a dog sunning herself. um, so this morning, journal. I feel like more often than not, my journaling experience is actually the thing that really truly hypes me up and gets me motivated for the day. And it's one of those things that I don't do every single day, but on the days that I do it, I am so grateful that I do. I have never once regretted taking the time to sit down and journal in the morning. And it is something that I want to get better at doing and more consistent with doing. And consistency and stuff is actually one of the things I want to talk about today. It's one of the topics that came up in my journal. And I've been in a very reflective mood lately. It's just been very what's the other word for reflective? I've been feeling compelled. It has been on my heart to um to kind of change how I do things. And I don't even know I don't know how to verbalize kind of the mental reflection that I have been going through lately. But you know what's the impetus for it is definitely last 90 days is coming. October is just what, 2 weeks away? How mind-boggling is that, you guys? October is 2 weeks away. Let me get, I should be able to do the math. It's next Friday. Next Saturday starts October. And with October is the whole last 90 days trend, like the let's hit it and make sure we build the momentum to go into the new year rather than kind of fall backwards. And I'm having um such a balance issue with the concept of last 90 days this year because on the one hand I really really want to up my game and level up and use the momentum that you can build for last 90 days to go forward and really embrace the concept of that. And then on the other hand, I also am really feeling compelled to be a lot gentler with myself, and I'm trying to marry those two very very opposing views, actually make them something that is a unified view and something that I can actually work with. And it is something that I'm like I have no perfect formula yet, but I am actively working on doing this and setting specific goals for last 90 days for Q4. If you don't want to call it last 90 days, it's fine. It's your quarter four goals. So for people using the power sheets, it's your quarterly goals refresh, or Moxie Life, it's your quarterly goals refresh. And that's actually one of the things that I have been that's kind of been propelling me forward is in YouTuber world, in planner influencer world. October is review the new goal planning products month, and I am actually on the Moxie Life review crew this year, and I am a Power Sheets affiliate, so I will be getting my hands on both of those things in the month of October, which of course just propels me into new year goal setting mode because I'm literally just sitting there analyzing and reviewing and telling you guys about all of the new goal planning stuff for the new year. So mentally, that's where I end up being, right? Um, which is fine. So I'm like, I'm already there because I'm in Club Moxie and I'm doing all this reflective stuff and everything like that. But today, the thing that really kind of hit me, the thing that hit me last time something hit me when I was journaling, I sent it out in an email. So if you haven't joined my email list, because you never know when I'm gonna spout my motivational stuff and where it's going to be, there's a link in the thing below that says get my macro friendly grocery list. That's how you sign up for my email list, and then you get the macro friendly grocery list as a gift, as the thank you for joining the email list, but then you'll get all of my subsequent emails. And so last time I sent an email when journaling inspired me, and it talked about how you actually have more time in the day than you think you do if you just take the time to break down where you actually spend your time and the ideal way to spend your time. And the way I ended up doing that was I was reflecting on the whole concept of an hour long workout is only 4% of your day, which is not very much if you think about it. We have 24 hours in a day. So an hour-long workout's only 4% of that. So we have the time, most of us, to be able to work in some sort of workout, right? If an hour-long workout is 4% of a day, that means half an hour is only 2% of our day, right? So I was reflecting on that, and then I was like, well, what about all the other things I want to do? So I ended up doing some math. I was like, 8 hours of sleep. That's a third of my day, but 8 hours of sleep. Let's say I work like do this work 6 hours a day. Let's say I work out for an hour, and let's say I do house cleaning for an hour. I did the math, and it turns out that with all of those things checked out, a work day, 8 hours of sleep, a workout, and my house cleaning, I still had 8 hours left for me to do with what I pleased. 8 hours is an entire works day worth of time that I had free after all of the things that I want to be doing, including 8 hours of sleep. And I was like, that's mind boggling to me. I have 8 extra hours to do things. Why am I not doing things? Right. So that was my reflective thing in my journal, I don't know, a week or so ago. And then today, as I've been reflecting on goals, I'm working on figuring out what my goals for not for 2023 yet, but oh, that's really taped on there. I was going to show you guys my goals at a glance, but it's really on there. But I'm working on, like I said, my goals for the last 90 days, my goals for Q4, and trying to figure out what the right balance is between be gentle with yourself, but also stop making excuses and actually just go for it, because last 90 days, like the momentum that I have the potential to power myself to build and power myself into the new year with is huge as long as I take full advantage of it. And so today, the thing in my journaling that came up as I was working on goal setting, and one of the reflections on goal setting that I had, because I've been listening to the Club Moxie podcast, was instead of like goals being like such a business oriented thing, and I don't necessarily mean business and work, but when you think of like goals, right, you think of like achieve the things and do the like set big numbers, reach big numbers, whether it be weight loss or income or whatever the case may be, followers, whatever. Um, but instead, what if you thought about goals as goals are an expression of what you desire in your life? Like, hmm, that's interesting, right? Like that takes some of the business type structure out of it, and all of a sudden it's like it's not about this. But like if you take like your weight loss goal, for example, I have a goal of losing 30 pounds, here's how I'm going to do it, versus what do you desire in your life? And then you have to dive into like, well, why do you desire to lose 30 pounds? And you stop and you think about that, and you'd be like, oh, I desire more self-confidence. I desire to feel better in the clothes that I'm in. I desire to feel confident naked. I desire to blah, 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 whatever it is. And all of a sudden, when it's driven by desire instead of by numbers, it just has this different weight to it. But also like an extra spark of motivation and inspiration, because it's not just about this number, this thing that you've set for yourself, but it's about an actual like heart-driven desire that you have. And so I've been thinking a lot about that and how I can change my goals for Q4 to reflect more of my desires and less about the numbers, right? So as I'm looking at my fat loss phase goal and what I want to do for Q4, I'm thinking less about I want to see the scale go down, and I'm thinking more about the desire that I have and feelings that I want to have because of that. And with like my and some of the goals I'm actually just changing around completely. My Q4 goals are going to look almost completely different than my actual goals for 2022, because at this point I am focusing on what can I do to best build momentum for myself and get into 2023 with a fresh set of goals. And some of the goals, maybe they'll be fresh, maybe not, and I haven't quite decided yet, and I'm really working on reflecting on goals that are gonna matter, and so what I was reflecting on this morning was two words, two words that I'm going to cling to this week with all of my heart, and that is follow through. It is something that I know is an inherent flaw in my nature, and I cannot, for the life of you, tell you why that is a thing for me. But follow through, and I are not friends. It's true. I admit it. It is one of my big personal flaws, toxic traits, whatever you want to tell. Call it follow through. And so today I was like, what if I just follow through on the things that I say I'm going to do? That's it. Follow through. And I used this to coach one of my clients this morning because Monday's check in day. So as I was coaching one of my clients, I was like, what if, because you're struggling to get these things done, because I coach nutrition coach primarily, but I'm also, especially for this client, I'm a goals coach too, and kind of a life coach too. And so we're talking about goals and things that we want to check off that have nothing to do with health and nutrition. And so I told her to focus on follow through this week. That's all you have to focus on, is your ability to follow through on the things you say you're going to do. That's it. So for me personally, I'm like, all right, this week, all I have to do is follow through. And I have a lofty list that feels a little bit overwhelming, but also not if I stop and think about the allotment of time I reflected on a week or so ago, and how I have a 6 hour workday built in, and I have 8 hours free after that. And I have time for my hour-long workout, and I have time for this, that, and the other thing. I just have to be intentional about it. And so some of the things that have been really weighing heavily on my heart lately is social media, and what the heck I'm going to do with social media in Q4 and going forward. Because social media, for better or for worse, is a time suck for me. And what I've also noticed lately about social media is it also tends to be an energy suck for me as well. And don't get me wrong, social media is great. Social media is how I've built what I have, which is amazing. And it's a great place to find inspiration and motivation and tips, tricks, advice, and ideas. But it's also for me just draining. And because, I somehow end up on the side of TikTok that's always talking about politically charged things and all this. And I had the realization yesterday as I was scrolling TikTok for just a couple minutes. I was literally on the app for about 5 minutes when I was like, I've got to stop, because this just doesn't feel good anymore. It doesn't feel good anymore. And so this is the kind of stuff I'm reflecting on. How can I show up and do these things and follow through on what I need to do, but also really hone in on what I need for me, and following through on the desires that I have for myself in a business context, in a fat loss context, in oh my gosh, there's just so many things. There's so many things. And cycle syncing stuff, right? I'm just come off my period. My period ended 2 days ago. And that's the most reflective time in your cycle. And so my brain has been reeling, and now I'm in brainstorm mode because follicular phase. And so like my mind is reeling with ideas and thoughts about follow through and what I really desire and goals for the new year and goals for the rest of this year and what's working and what's not. And it's just been this crazy thing of like, at the end of the day, all I have to do is figure out how to show up and prove to myself that I can do it. So, and that's what it is. It's proof to myself. You guys will be on the receiving end of, oh, look, she's actually deciding to show up and do what she said she's going to do. You guys will be on the receiving end of that, but really it's for me, and like proving to myself. Have you ever done that thing where like you continue to fail at something, or you continue to fall short, and thus and this is how self-esteem is built, right? Self-esteem is solely a confidence level in yourself. Self-esteem, the more you fail to follow through, the more you fail to show up for yourself in the way that you desire to do so, or you say you're going to do so, the less self-confidence you're going to have. And the less self-confidence you have, the more you're going to believe that you can't accomplish something. And so today, I'm going to urge you, and I'm going to urge myself to do the exact opposite. If you start to show up for yourself, if you start to follow through on what you say you're going to do, as simple as it might be, maybe all you have to do today is tell yourself that you're going to get out of bed and take a shower. And as long as you do that, you followed through. That's fine. If that is your best, if that's what you need for you today, that's fine. But my point is, whatever that list is, for me, I have a list this week. I have a lofty goal of somehow pulling off filming 5 videos, because I'm doing Vlogtober this year. And I have my entire Vlogtober list, vlogs and all, because they're not all going to be vlogs, because daily vlogging is freaking daunting and it's hard. And people that watch daily vlogs and are like, oh, good, Vlogmas or Vlogtober or whatever, and then wonder how people start to fall behind and fall short. You have no idea how hard vlogging and daily vlogging is. Holy moly. So, I'm doing Vlogtober, but I'm doing video every day, not vlog every day. I've got like 12 vlogs slated for the month of October, but I have everything laid out. I know the topics of my non-vlog videos that I'm going to do. I think except for 3. I have 3 blank spaces out of an entire month of 31 videos. And so in order to do that, in order to prove to myself, this is the challenge to myself. And I can spoiler alert, I'm going to spoiler alert one last 90 days goal for you. And under YouTube, because my goal number 6 is to surpass my 2021 YouTube growth metrics. I haven't even checked in on that in a long time. I have no idea if I'm anywhere close to that, but I got to figure that out. But my one goal just says Vlogtobermas, which means I have to show up and I want to do Vlogtober and I want to do Vlogmas. And I just need to do that for me. It's not even for you. It's for me because I need to prove to myself. I've done them in the past. I've gone back and I can see all the videos and all the times I've done Vlogtober and all the times I've done Vlogmas and all the times I've done Veda and Vlogist and all of those. And there was a period of time that's pretty much all I did. Like I did an every other month of daily vlogging. And I was like, I used to be able to do this. I need to prove that I can still do this, even if it's something that I decide not to do next year. This year, I need to just prove to myself that I have the follow through to actually pull it off. And so I'm going to. So Vlogtobermas is a goal for Q4, last 90 days, 2022. I'm not going to spoil the rest of them for you because otherwise I won't have a last 90 days goals video for you. But it's just one of those things like follow through. So the question of the day is how can you follow through for yourself? What can you do today to prove to yourself that you can do what you say you're going to do? I've got my list. I know what I have to do this week to show up and do the things, and I'm going to go and do them right now. But this is just something that was on my heart to share. Follow through. Whatever it is, get out of bed and take a shower, film 5 videos this week, do whatever it is that your goal is this week. Follow through because then you're going to start to build a self-esteem that's going to make you unstoppable. All right, friends, have a wonderful Monday. I'll talk to you soon.